Hey everyone, Ron here, and welcome back to the Deep Dive. As sales and revenue leaders, we're always looking for that edge, that tech that can really help us boost those outcomes.
Absolutely. And today we're diving into something that can do just that, call transcription software.
Right. And it's way more than just, having a record of what was said on a call.
Hmm.
We're talking about using this tech to get those deep insights that can really, change your sales game.
Exactly, Ron. It's evolved so much from basic transcription to AI-powered analysis that can seriously up your sales performance.
One thing that really struck me as we were prepping for this deep dive was this stat we came across. People forget something like 50% of new information within an hour.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I've heard that before. It's crazy, right?
It is. And when you think about it in the context of sales calls, that means half of everything discussed on those calls is basically gone if you're not capturing it effectively.
And that's a huge missed opportunity right there. I mean, think about all those crucial details, those insights into customer needs, those little nuggets of gold that are just slipping through the cracks.
Exactly. And that's where call transcription software comes in. It's not just about record keeping anymore. It's about having searchable transcripts so you can easily find that key information later.
And it's about using AI-powered tools to extract key moments, track topics, even score calls for effectiveness.
So basically, it's like having an AI sales coach listening in on every call, giving you feedback you would have otherwise missed.
Precisely. And think about onboarding new team members. Instead of just throwing them into the deep end, you can have them study transcripts of successful calls, see how your top performers handle objections, learn from the best.
I love that. Yeah, it's like giving them a playbook for success.
Exactly.
Okay, so we're sold on the wine. Now let's talk about the what this article we have highlights a bunch of different call transcription software options. And one that really caught my eye is Meet Record. They seem to be laser focused on sales teams.
Yeah, and what's interesting about Meet Record is that they've really gone beyond just basic transcription.
Oh
They
yeah.
have AI features like deal health monitoring, so you can get an early warning if a deal is going south.
Oh wow, that's interesting.
Yeah, and personalized coaching insights based on the call data. They even offer customized pricing, which adds a certain level of exclusivity.
Okay, so it's bespoke software. It makes sense though if it's tailored to your specific needs. It's probably worth having a conversation with them to
Yeah.
see what they can do for you.
Yeah.
But let's be real, there are a ton of other players in the game.
Yeah.
Right? What about Otter.ai? Everyone
Yeah.
seems to be using that for real-time transcription during Zoom calls or Google Meet, those kinds of meetings.
Yeah. Otter.ai is definitely all about convenience and immediate action. You can fully focus on the conversation knowing that every word is being captured and is instantly searchable. It's great for post-call follow-ups because you don't have to rely on your memory or scramble to find notes.
Right? No more missed opportunities because you couldn't remember a specific detail. Love that. And you know what else I love? Fireflies.
Good.
AI's ability to actually extract action items from calls and even track custom topics. Imagine seeing every time a prospect brings up a competitor or, expresses concerns about the budget.
It's about making the data work for you, not the other way around.
Yeah,
You're essentially getting those golden nuggets of information delivered to you on a silver platter.
that's right. But before we all run off to sign up for all these tools, you always tell me, pump the brakes, think things through. What are some potential downsides or, things we should watch out for?
Well, accuracy is critical. These tools have come a long way, but they're not perfect. Background noise, accents, multiple speakers, all of these things can affect the quality of the transcript.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to celebrate closing a deal only to find out there was a misunderstanding about the terms because the transcript wasn't quite right.
Exactly. And then there's integration. Your call transcription software shouldn't be an island. It needs to work with your CRM, your calendar, your other systems, so you have a smooth workflow.
It's all about making things as easy as possible for your team to use the tool, effectively speaking, of which there's the question of cost versus value. Some tools have basic, affordable plans, while others are enterprise grade and come with a much higher price tag.
The key is to choose what aligns with your team's needs and their budget. Don't get lured in by fancy features you'll never actually use.
Right, so we've talked about the why, the what, and some things to watch out for. Now let's dive into some real-world examples of how this tech is actually moving the needle for sales teams.
Mm.
And we'll get into that right after this.
All right, so let's talk about how sales teams are actually seeing those real-world results with call transcription software.
I love a good success story, so hit me with the proof that this stuff actually works.
All right, well, let's start with Meet Record. Remember we talked about them earlier? We have a testimonial here from Jess, who's in sales and account management, and she says Meet Record helps her team review calls like game day footage, to see how they performed and identify areas for improvement.
I love that analogy. It really makes you think about how you can break down your sales process, analyze those calls for weak points, find those opportunities for improvement based on real data, not just gut feelings.
Exactly, and it's not limited to individual performance either. Jess also mentions how they use Meet Records call scoring and deal health monitoring features to get a more holistic view of their entire sales pipeline.
So it's like having this, data-driven dashboard that's constantly giving you insights into the health of your deals and the performance of your team. That's awesome.
Exactly. Now let's shift gears to Otter.ai. We talked about them earlier too for real-time transcription. We have a testimonial from Anshul, a human resources manager, who says, Otter.ai has been a game changer for her team. They used to spend hours creating meeting minutes from handwritten notes or listening back to recordings.
Oh, I can relate to that.
Right. Well, now with Otter.ai, they have accurate transcripts and summaries of every meeting, which frees up their time to focus on more strategic tasks.
It's like a classic case of, technology doing what it does best, automating those tedious tasks so humans can focus on, you know, the things that require real creativity and strategic thinking.
Right. And it's not just about efficiency, it's about accuracy and reliability. Imagine trying to remember a specific point from a meeting weeks later when all you have are those scribbled notes.
Yeah, you're relying on memory, which we already know is pretty unreliable,
Exactly. With a transcript, you have the entire conversation at your disposal.
right there in front of you. And that would be so valuable for, sales teams who are dealing with those complex deals, those long sales cycles where you can't afford to let anything slip through the cracks.
Absolutely. And as your team grows, you can use those transcripts to onboard new hires, quickly and efficiently give them access to the knowledge and best practices that have already been established.
It's like you're building a library of sales wisdom that you can share and continuously refine over time. But you know me, I always have to play devil's advocate here.
Yeah.
And we've been talking about all the amazing things about Call Transcription Software. But let's be real. What are some potential downsides or things that sales leaders should be aware of?
Yeah, you're right, Ron. No technology is perfect. One of the biggest challenges with these tools is accuracy. They've come a long way, but they're not foolproof. Background noise, strong accents, multiple people talking at once, all of these things can affect the quality of the transcript.
So it's important to have realistic expectations, right, going into it, knowing that you might need to manually review and edit some transcripts to ensure accuracy, especially when it comes to, critical details like pricing or contract terms.
Absolutely, and data security is another major consideration. You're trusting these tools with sensitive customer information, so you need to make sure they have top-notch security measures in place.
That's a good point.
Hmm.
What should sales leaders be looking for when evaluating these tools from a security standpoint?
Look for things like data encryption, secure storage compliance with relevant data privacy regulations. Don't be afraid to ask tough questions about their data retention policies. How long do they keep your data? What happens to it when you stop using their service?
Those are all really great points to consider. It seems like even with, those potential downsides, that the benefits of call transcription software far outweigh the risks, especially for sales teams that are looking to, improve their efficiency, their accuracy, and their overall strategic decision making.
I agree, and as this technology continues to evolve, we can expect to see even more innovative features and capabilities that will further enhance the value that these tools provide.
So exciting. I can't wait to see what the future holds. But before we get too far ahead of ourselves, let's bring it back to the present and talk about how sales leaders can make the most of this technology right now. What are some key takeaways that our listeners can implement today?
All right, so we've talked about the why and the what of call transcription software. Now let's get down to the how can sales leaders actually implement this technology and start seeing those results?
Yeah, let's give our listeners some actionable steps they can take to really, boost their sales performance with this tech.
Okay, so first things first, you got to involve your sales team in this process. They're the ones on the front lines talking to customers every day. They have the best insights into what would make their lives easier and help them close more deals.
So basically go straight to the source. Ask them, what are your biggest frustrations with sales calls right now? What kind of information do you wish you had at your fingertips?
Yeah.
What would help you seal the deal?
Exactly. Their feedback is going to be so valuable when you're evaluating different tools and choosing the one that best fits your team's needs. And don't forget those key factors we discussed earlier: accuracy, integration cost versus value.
Right. You don't want to get distracted by all those bells and whistles, those fancy features that sound cool but won't actually move the needle for your sales goals. Focus on the features that will solve your team's biggest challenges.
And remember, this isn't a one-and-done decision, Be prepared to adapt your call transcription strategy as your team grows and your needs change. This tech is evolving rapidly, so what works today might not be the best solution tomorrow.
It's all about continuous improvement. But,
Yeah.
you mentioned something earlier that really stuck with me. You talked about using this technology not just to analyze past calls, but to actually enhance calls in real time. That blew my mind a little bit.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing, right? It's like having a virtual sales coach riding shotgun with you. Anticipating objections, suggesting killer questions, just generally helping you crush it on every call.
So basically, the future of sales is looking pretty bright.
It is. It's a really exciting time to be in sales, and I can't wait to see what the future holds for this technology.
Well, this deep dive into call transcription software has been incredible. I'm feeling so inspired and ready to, take action and turn those sales conversations into revenue-generating gold mines.
That's what we like to hear. Go out there and make those sales calls count.
All right, everyone, that's it for today's deep dive. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.